Okay, so it's the morning now, and I actually decided that I'm going to make another little video, and I'm going to talk about social anxiety and basically how that affects me, for no other reason than I just decided I thought it'd be a good idea to make a video. Just felt like it. So anyway, yeah, I have social anxiety, and I didn't really even really notice that was what was wrong with me until probably like less than 2 years ago. Um, and it's been kind of weird, but basically up until then, I was kind of quiet. I didn't really talk to anybody, and I kept to myself a little bit. I had friends, and for some reason, I think I was like so quiet that like I stood out in a way, and I had like really big hair and shit. So everyone kind of noticed me, but I didn't talk to anyone. So it was really weird. But that's kind of how it was for a little bit, and I only really recognized that there was something up pretty recently. And for me, with the social anxiety, it's pretty bad. It's not like debilitating necessarily, but it's pretty bad. So I'm just gonna go through like kind of basically what that experience has been for me in like 5 minutes or less if I can. But basically for me, I think the main thing is I've had this idea of like kind of like social energy and like having to socially recharge. So I'll like go to a party or I'll be with some people, and I can have fun and I can be like normal, I can like just like a normal person. But at a certain point, that energy will just fucking disappear and it'll be completely gone. And there won't be anything I can do about it other than to just either just kind of sit there and like gradually get like a little bit more awkward because I don't have like the social energy to like keep up with people. I'll just kind of get quieter and quieter and like get like a little awkward or kind of withdraw. And a lot of these things also that what I've realized is a lot of things, like, if I feel like I'm being really awkward, a lot of the time, I think a lot of that's just me. I think a lot of that is just kind of my inner world. And I've kind of thought that I've let that dictate to me what I thought my outer world was. I couldn't separate my inner world from my outer world. And I didn't realize that other people didn't really invest as much into that as I did. Like, as much into, like, whether or not I'm awkward or whatever. So for other people, I could be clearly more quiet, but not necessarily as awkward as I thought. So, a lot of the time, what I'll have to do is I'll, like, withdraw. I'll go to, like, a quieter space. I'll leave. Or I'll just straight up head out and get out of the place, basically. And I've also, that's kind of been like one of the biggest things. Another thing I've also noticed is that for me, it kind of contradicts itself a little bit because I'm a social person and I love being around people, but at the same time, I also have social anxiety and it can get pretty bad. So I've noticed with even texting people sometimes, I'll get socially. Okay, so my camera turned off. But basically, I'll get socially anxious about texting people. And it's really weird. And basically, it culminates in me having a bunch of Snapchats, a bunch of messages and stuff. And I'll sit on the Snapchats at least. A lot of the times I'll sit on those for like up to like 2 or 3 days. And I don't want, it's really weird. I'm still working on it, but like basically for me, I like would rather, instead of risking an awkward text or something, like having to put that energy into there, I would rather just let it sit and marinate, I guess. So I usually let text marinate, and I don't know if that's a regular thing, but that's like just what I've noticed. And also, I've noticed that with new people especially, but with everyone, if there's like a person that like I like hanging out with and I genuinely enjoy their company, and even if I feel more comfortable around them, because there are people that like I feel a lot more comfortable around that I could just chill with. But like when it's a new person, I'm not necessarily as comfortable with them. I'll be really anxious about hanging out with them, and like a lot of times I'll have to force myself to. And then a lot of times I'll almost kind of self-sabotage it so that it ends up not happening. And then with people that I do feel comfortable with and hanging out with, a lot of the times it'll go kind of the same way. Because if I've spent a lot of good time hanging out with them and I haven't had a single drop of awkwardness, then I'll be worried about messing it up, basically. Like, everything's good so far. Why the fuck would I ruin it by continuing to hang out with them, kind of a deal. So I don't think, I've tried not to let that, because like I'm aware of all these things, so I've tried not to let them kind of like keep me from being happy and having friends and stuff. But I'm pretty sure there's like a couple of people that like I've genuinely vibed with that I've honestly kind of like just ghosted a little bit, just because I was afraid to hang out with them, and mess it up and stuff. Like, it's super weird. And yeah, lately I've been working on it, and like since I've realized that it was a thing, it's gotten a lot better. But I still deal with that, and I still have like the anxiety, and I think a lot of it might have to do, because I've been thinking about it basically nonstop for like a year, like around 2 years. I think a lot of it has to do with when I was a kid, I didn't really hang out with a lot of people, because for some reason, I think just looking at other people, like when I was a kid, I was almost for some reason conditioned to think that other people were stupid, and like that was around when like everyone was making fun of Kanye and stuff, and like we were all making fun of like girls doing anything basically, like if like I feel like you know the vibe, but like basically like it was cool to be, it felt like it was cool to not hang out with people. So for maybe the first like 10 or so years of my life, I thought it was very cool for me to not hang out with anyone, and not fuck with anyone at all. And I thought I was super fucking cool for that. And I was honestly kind of a little asshole for that, and kind of ruined myself a little bit. And then when I did try to hang out with people, a lot of the time, like my family was Mormon, so I also didn't really, besides like Cub Scouts, get a lot of time to hang out with people at other people's houses and stuff, and like see how other people act and react and all of that. So I didn't get a lot of social input. And then also I was fucking blind. Until I got my glasses, I was straight up blind. Like, I thought it was normal to not be able to see the board at school. So that might be some of the reasons, but I'm starting to work on my social anxiety. And like a lot of it also has to do with, because I've had no social input for so long, when I'm around someone, I wouldn't necessarily even feel that awkward or anxious around them, except for the fact that a lot of the times, especially one-on-one, I don't know what to say. And I shouldn't feel awkward at all. I'm vibing with them. I just don't know what the fuck to say. And so if I don't know what to say, I'm going to feel anxious and awkward. And so it just kind of, it's like a vicious cycle kind of a deal. Even though I think that phrase is overused and stupid and annoying. But yeah, that's basically been my experience so far with anxiety. I'd rate it about a 2 out of 10. Social anxiety is bullshit, but yeah, I actually think it might be a good idea to like start maybe trying to like vlog my social anxiety and stuff and like my progress, just because why not? So I'm gonna try to maybe do that, and I'm trying to meet and hang out with people, and like I've met a couple really cool people near this new place that I'm living at, so I'll maybe try to like bring some of those stories in, and anonymously, just in case. But yeah, that's basically it. And yeah, so I guess until next time, that is it. We also have these really cool mountains right outside my window, and I just thought it'd be super cool to take a look at them. There's like this little kind of city square thing. It's honestly, it's kind of idyllic. I love it. But yeah, again, until next time, that's the video.